call the roll, please?
Certainly. Ned?
Here.
Rachel? Not here. Eric? Not here. Marcia's here. Priscilla's here. Glenn's here. So we have a quorum.
All right, thank you. There was no correspondence? I guess we didn't get anything. There are no minutes to approve from whatever April.
Don't forget this is being live streamed.
Well, there's only you from the April meeting, so Ned and I can't approve anyway.
Oh, that's right, you had to go home.
Under duress, but I don't know.
Maybe got to go home. It was a good thing.
Okay.
All right, as far as I know, there's no old business. New business. Glenn, do you want to speak to our new
Sure,
business?
so this is the Parks and Shade Tree Commission, and one of your duties and roles is to hear appeals from the city arborist. This one isn't so much an appeal as much as it is a request for a fee in lieu of mitigation or a waiver of that fee for 2 shade trees that are required on a 10,000-foot lot. The property's at 65 Park Avenue, and this is appeal hearing number 0419-03. Typically, we start with the report from the arborist.
But I would like
I'm
to
sorry,
say that
sure.
my husband's a commissioner, but that will not influence my decision.
The following is the report of the city arborist with regard to the above referenced appeal that is to be heard before the commission on Monday, May 20th, 2019. Due to new home construction at 65 Park Avenue, the property is required to meet minimum density requirements of the city's Municipal Tree Code, Chapter 253. Currently existing on-site are 3 pines, 12 cryptomere in a hedge, a dogwood, a redbud, and 3 crepe myrtles. Since there are no deciduous shade trees, the current landscape does not meet the requirements of 253.26 minimum density. B1, evergreen, deciduous, or small specimen trees may be counted to meet density requirements provided that A, only 1 evergreen or deciduous trees exceeding 3 inches caliper may be counted. B, only small specimen trees exceeding 2-inch caliper may be counted. C, only 1 small specimen tree may be counted for each 5,000 square feet. And D, no more than 1/3 of trees counted towards the density requirements may be evergreens. Since the lot is 10,000 square feet, there is a minimum density requirement of 6 trees with a maximum of 2 small species and 2 evergreens. The 2 remaining trees are required to be deciduous shade trees such as a maple, oak, or birch. As the applicant is requesting a fee in lieu of mitigation, it is the Park and Shade Tree Commission's authority to determine such fee. 253-36 Administrative Appeals. 1. Fee in lieu of mitigation. A fee in lieu of mitigation may be granted only by the Park and Shade Tree Commission through the appeals process and upon a recommendation from the city arborist. For granting a fee in lieu of mitigation, the applicant must demonstrate the replacement of trees on the project site is not a viable option because meeting the requirements of this article would result in undue hardship, that all reasonable alternatives relevant to protection and mitigation have been exhausted, and that granting a fee in lieu of mitigation will not adversely impact the intent and purposes of these regulations.
Thank you. Now, would you like to speak?
Sure. No questions?
Your turn.
I am Cynthia Alexander. I go by Cece, and we have owned 65 Park for 20 years. When we purchased it in 1999, we had 3 teenage daughters, and now we are a family of 14, with number 15 due the beginning of October. So it reached a point that rather than we pursued remodeling and what we wanted was not attainable that way, so we decided to demolish the existing house and rebuild. When we did this, we did not remove any trees. Over the 20 years we've owned this house, we've planted 22 trees and love our trees. I even had, when they were first beginning before the demolition, when they came to do the construction fencing, I asked them to go back and get more, and I paid extra so that every tree in our fern garden, everything was protected throughout this construction. And let's see, I'm just trying to think what else. I appreciate you being here. I thank you very much for your time, and I'm glad you're going to consider our appeal.
Thank you. So, I guess we have no correspondence about this. Is there anybody? There's nobody here to talk against it. So, I guess
So Liz, how many total trees are on the property?
There's actually 4. There's one on the back property line, a big pine.
Yeah, just total trees, if you know the number of.
Yeah, let me just add them up because it's in my report individually.
is.
315.
Missed one crepe myrtle. I've got 4.
I'm just trying to establish for the record that the property is well-treed. Would you
Yes.
think that it's well-treed?
Yeah,
well
the problem is that they're evergreen.
Right.
And the code, for some reason that I don't know, puts a limit on the number of evergreens
2,
that
right?
count.
One per 5,000.
1/3,
so
yeah.
While there's a lot of evergreens, you can only count, 1/3, and this lot requires 6, so you can only count 2 of them, even though there's 6.
Yeah.
evergreens.
Well,
That's what's gotten them, so you understand, what's gotten them here is that there's plenty of trees
Right.
on the lot, but the
Just
code
not the
only
right
allows
kind.
right, the code only allows you to count 2 specimen trees, only allows you to count 2 evergreen trees for a lot of this size. So there's the 4, and she doesn't have the
Shade trees.
shade trees, deciduous shade
well, the
trees.
fact that she cut down no trees to build this house, to me, should, like grandfather her in the way it is. So
Is that a motion? You
I make a motion that she doesn't have to pay, shouldn't have to put in the trees, and she doesn't have to pay a fee in lieu of mitigation. Because that, she had to take no trees down. She's on this lot for 20 years. It's,
I mean, technically, you'd be setting the fee in lieu of mitigation at 0, because there has to be a fee in lieu of mitigation. I've never
0.
had this conversation with you all before, but it'd be technically setting the fee at 0
0.
in recognition of the efforts they went through to not take down
that the
trees.
fact that they
during the-
took no trees down, I think she falls into a separate category, or she didn't need to do anything.
Right,
Second?
right. You make the motion again, and then,
I move that she does not have to put in any trees, and the fee in lieu of mitigation is 0.
Marcia seconded that already, right?
and Jake second, all right. Now we're going to vote. Marcia?
Yes?
Okay, I vote yes.
Yes.
Right.
That was a quick meeting.
Thank you.
Fast.
That was. So, well, I appreciate you all making the effort to be here. And
Well, the
Thank
fact
you
that you
very
took no trees down,
Yeah,
Oh,
to
that's
me,
great.
You
and you
know-
have plenty of trees on the property.
we look with Liz, and I almost would have to take down existing trees to fit in because we have so much underground there with the geothermal and the propane tank. But don't be surprised when you walking your dog, Marcia. At some point,
All the time.
I want to do a little red maple. And my mother-in-law has these beautiful red maples, and it'll always make us think of her. So there may be more, but thank you very much.
Oh, you are welcome. Thank you. Now, Liz, you have a report?
No, because we switched computer systems, so it's like half on one and half on the other. So I figured instead of maybe giving inaccurate information, next month it'll be all on the new system. And hopefully by then I'll know how to run reports on it. So, I don't even know how to do that yet.
Okay.
But we are busy right now, very, very busy for the permits and everything.
Well, thank you. I guess the meeting is adjourned.
Good.
Excellent. Yeah, but can you turn it off?
Oh, it's off?
Still recording.
Recording.